get television.
That's me, winter 1965, and there's Cod there, and that's one crew member, and that's the other crew member there, he's holding the painter. He's one of our group here. Sadly that chap's passed away. When I was 14 years old, my father gave me a 10-foot rowing boat, and so after school, when the tide was in the harbour, I used to go out to Mowl rocks just outside the harbour. In the summer, put a couple of lobster pots down, and I used to sell what I caught, lobsters, crabs. When I started work, I bought a bigger rowing boat because I wanted to go off evenings, and when the tide was out, I moved my boat around to the beach so I could go off every morning in the summer.
I've been fishing since 1980. I started, and I originally started from Dungeness. I worked from the beaches up there, and moved down into Hythe about 87. We worked off the Hythe beach. I found it easier to work from Hythe than what I did from Dungeness, so we've been here since then. The sea's more flatter here and it's a bit more in the bay when Dungeness is on the point, so you get a rougher lot of sea. And my boat wasn't that big at the time when I first had my first boat, so yeah, it's quite well. 40 odd years now.
We've got our own fishermen, our own little fishing boat, so anything that can be caught locally, they catch it here and bring it into us. We've got lobsters, crabs that are local. So we just set it up every day.
From when I was fishing, the main method of catching fish in the winter was with long lines and trawling. Long lines went out in the late 1980s, because fish was scarcer, bait cost money. One of the large trawlers, they would bait 40 lines, and each line had 80 hooks on it, so a lot of hooks to bait. Then gill nets came in. Gill nets stand. They've got a lead line along the bottom, so they sit on the bottom of the sea. They're about 1 metre high with corks on the top. And the first thing a fish does, once it hits something, a net, it rolls, and so the gill nets, they get themselves tangled up in the net. They catch everything, you see. If the nets are lost, they're still laying on the seabed catching fish, and they never ever rot.
Most mornings we leave about 4 o'clock in the morning. We leave from Hythe Beach, off the beach here, and we steam out. So we can go a radius up to about 10 miles off, but most of our fishing's done probably about 3 to 4 miles out. Perhaps the day before we shoot the nets, the static gear, the gill nets. So when we go off there, like tomorrow morning, we go and haul them. So that means once we get out onto where the markers are and we find the nets, and we start hauling them through the net hauler, which is over there, and they come aboard, pick the fish out, run them through the net clearer, which is this one here, and then they're ready to go over the back to far away again, to shoot away again for the next day. And that's just repeated like that. You find your little hot spots where you think fish is better or certain sort of fish is different, but it changes from week to week to month to month. That one's a fish finder. That one's like a plotter. It tells you where you are, positions, and that's all the nets you plotted, and so you know in the fog where to go. And that's a radar up there, so that'll come on in a minute when it says down to. The last couple of years, the main issue I think at the moment is global warming. We're not getting the cods and that like we did 10 years ago. It was good fishing when I started, right up till, well, roughly 10 years, and then the last 10 years have been harder to earn a living with quotas and everything that's happening. But the global warming is our main concern. Pollution is another issue as well for the inshore fishermen, where they discharge all their sewage and that, and I think it affects the fishing as well.